What's up guys, this is your head coach Kuya for Smash Ultimate, and for today's class we are going to go over how to air dodge. So this will be an introductory class about the mechanic known as air dodging. We'll cover what it is, the different types of air dodges, and multiple applications to enhance your gameplay options. We'll go over what it is, the definition, different types of it, and again, I'm repeating myself, sorry, the applications of air dodging. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to comment down below and I'll be happy to respond to you. Or you could join us for our live Discord classes and you could ask me in person or in our Discord server. So first, let's define it. Air dodging, what is it? When airborne, all you have to do is press your shield button to perform an air dodge. This will make your character flicker white, indicating that you have intangibility frames or iframes. Air dodges usually last a bit less than half of a second, assuming that it's not stale. So the iframes of an air dodge, I would say, would be on average around like 25 frames. And we did talk about staleness in previous videos, but to go over it one more time, if you do any type of dodging like rolling, spot dodging, or air dodging a lot of times over and over, you get less iframes and you have more end lag. So you could see yourself get slower and slower if you spam more rolls or air dodges. So just keep that in mind. I would say like do 2 to 3 dodges max consecutively so it doesn't get too stale. Unlike Smash 4, shout out if you played Smash 4, you can only perform one air dodge until you make contact with the ground or you get hit. So it's kind of like Melee, where you get air dodge, or when you air dodge, you can't really do much afterwards, or you can't do another air dodge. But unlike Melee as well, you don't get put into free fall. You kind of just air dodge, you have like that an animation of your air dodge, and then you could do another option besides air dodging again. Unless you, again, make contact with the ground or you get hit. So the frame data of air dodging is that you would think that this would be a universal thing, but in reality, when people try to do an air dodge, some characters' first initial iframe comes out at different times. Most air dodges will grant you your iframes at frame 3, so this is a good majority of the cast when you press your air dodge or your shield button in the air. But there are some exceptions. So the first one is for Bayonetta. She has her bat within mechanic where if she air dodges and gets attacked by something between frames 1 and 4 pressing shield, she'll take half the damage of whatever is hitting her, but she'll actually turn into some bats while continuing her air travel. So if she air dodged to the right and bats within gets triggered, she would still move to the right, as if the hit, or like kind of ignoring the hit, or more like tanking it. That's the best way I could describe it. Most characters have, or more like speedy characters have frame 2 air dodges, but something to keep in mind is for Mithra's air dodge, she has a mechanic known as Foresight, where it's active frames 2 to 5, where if you hit her during this time with an attack, it'll actually kind of act like Bat Within, where you ignore the knockback, you take a little bit of damage, but you actually slow down your opponent just a tad, so you actually punish them afterwards. So it's kind of like a counter, similar to like Bayonetta's Witch Time, where you slow down your opponent for air dodging at the right time. So it's really cool. And then again, most of the cast has a frame 3 air dodge, and most of the slower characters have the subpar air dodge with frame 4 air dodges. So if you see your main, or if you find your main here, you know when you get your iframes if you perform an air dodge. All right, let's talk about neutral air dodging versus directional air dodging. So if you air dodge with no control stick input at all, you'll get a neutral air dodge. So you maintain whatever aerial momentum you have initially. So Alf here is our example, and these are both neutral air dodges. Next up, we have directional air dodging, where it's kind of the opposite, where you air dodge with a control stick input. you'll slightly stall in the air and then burst in the direction you inputted. So for this video, I'll full directional air touch to the right and then to the left. And if you notice this slight blue glow on Elf, that indicates your intangibility frames, so it helps visualize it. It's an option in training mode. So we'll watch it one more time. So those are the main two types of air dodging: neutral air dodging and directional air dodging. So let's start talking about some applications of air dodging that is important to consider besides just using it to avoid an attack. Normally, if someone's like juggling you with an air dodge, or if someone's juggling you with like up airs, you could use an air dodge to kind of phase through them and land onto the ground safely. And that's a bit that's a bit intuitive, so I wanted to open your mind up to different applications of air dodging that you may have known but forgot, or you just have no clue at all. And that's why I'm here, to help remind you or educate y'all about air dodging. The first one is recovery. Specifically your directional air dodges, they do have a set distance, including up. So this extra burst can just be enough to make it to the ledge. Ness and Lucas are the main users of this technique because they do get the most distance with their air dodge compared to the rest of the cast. There are a couple other exceptions, but most of the cast, if not listed here, has the same air dodge distance, I think like at 20 measurements. But yeah, Ness and Lucas have the most. So if we play this video here, you could see how much distance they get. Isn't that so good? So from underneath the stage, basically, we can air dodge straight up and we make it. So that is a very extreme example of using air dodging to your recovery. If you do play characters like Bayonetta, Steve, Pyra, or Lomac, these characters are outliers in the opposite side, where they have the least distance traveled with air dodging. So this one might not be as helpful for you when you're trying to recover, but it's still important to think about because you might have to use an air dodge to recover. I'll play this one for one more time. Nice. Moving on, we have our fast fall neutral air dodge. So this is something that I like to do a lot that I don't see a lot of players do. It is punishable, but it's nice to have like in your back pocket just in case. So neutral air dodging with regular momentum is pretty simple and easy to react to, and if it's easy to react to, it's easy to punish. However, if you add a fast fall, then neutral air dodging allows you to get that half a second of iframes while covering a lot of distance because you're fast falling. Fast falling essentially doubles your fall speed, so that means twice the distance compared to like just regular neutral air dodging. This strategy is great for landing back on the stage quickly, but just be careful if your opponent is waiting on the floor with a smash attack. So I'll have WeFit Trainer display this for us. Regular neutral air dodgings, and fast fall air dodging. So one more time. This is no fast fall, and with the fast fall. So it's hard to react to. You're falling in the air safely with your iframes, and you can only really get punished when you land on the ground. Compared to the first one where like people can easily see it coming, and they're right here. So you can see the tint of blue. Okay, so after this last blink, we're able to get hit. But because we have the end lag of the air dodge, we actually can't do anything until we land. And that's just enough time for someone to set up like a smash attack. Compared to our neutral air dodge, where we're making so much distance and we're only punishable when we land on the ground. So we are making ourselves safer with a fast wall. I'll play one more time at full speed.
Let's stretch our legs.
And lastly, we have our ledge options, specifically jumping from ledge. Adding an air dodge after jumping from ledge can diversify your options to reset for neutral. When you are hanging on the ledge here, this isn't the most desired spot to be in, so we want to figure out a way to get back on stage safely. So using air dodging, I have 3 different routes that you could think of when you're recovering. So we have our neutral air dodge to land on the platform. We have a directional air dodge straight down. And we could choose a completely different option, like a double jump, an aerial, etc. Or we could do what Bowser did here, which was a directional air dodge straight to the left. You get really creative with air dodging from ledge just because if you just jump regularly, it's really easy to anti-air or punish the landing. So having confidence by using either or the neutral air dodge or a directional air dodge should make it more consistent to get back on stage. Oh, we have another one. I forgot I made this slide. Wave dashing. We love wave dashing. So if we directional air dodge diagonally down, we could use that direction, burst movement option to land faster. Due to the new physics engine in Ultimate, wave dashing is nowhere as significant to the melee counterpart, but there is some useful tech for it and some good applications for it. So you could do a short hop wave dash to fake an aerial approach. You could wave dash onto platforms to save some frames, or you could even run up wave dash backwards as a feint approach as well. So here I'm gonna showcase this second note here, the wave dashing onto platforms to save some frames. So if you wave dash onto the platforms here, you don't have to full hop and then gravity bring you to the platform. Or if you do a full hop and you want to land on the platform and you fast fall, you might accidentally go through it. So if you do a jump into a wave dash onto the platform, it makes it a lot more fluid, in my opinion. Yeah, I think wave dashing is not explored too much in Ultimate, and there's a lot of other ways that you could use wave dashing. It's really up to you to figure out new techniques and new strategies to see if it applies to your character as well. You could use it as a tech chasing option. You could use it as a really weird movement option to just throw off your opponent. And you could just do it just for fun. But yeah. And that was everything. So we are going to do a quick recap of everything before I end off today's class. So you're doing air dodging wrong. This is an introductory class about the mechanic known as air dodging. When airborne, all you have to do is press your shield button to perform an air dodge. Here's the frame data on everyone's air dodge. Bayonetta has the best one because she has Bat within, but the majority of characters have a frame 3 air dodge. There's 2 different types of air dodging. There's neutral air dodging and directional air dodging. You use air dodging to help your recovery. You use a fast fall neutral air dodge to make it harder to react to.
Let's stretch our legs.
You can use air dodging when you're jumping from ledge to diversify your options and help you reset to neutral. And you use air dodging as a wave dash option to help you land on the platforms. That is everything for class today, and thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day.